everything is permitted.
Welcome to episode 57 of Everything is Permitted here in the Zoomscape. I'm your captain and host during this raid into the Hellmouth, Julian Brown, alongside my co-host, the Man of Steel, Matt Reppert, and the Master of Puns, Brittany Tomes. How we doing?
I am tired.
Yeah, it's been an exhausting week. I've been tired every day.
Tired every day, tired every day.
Every day.
I'm in a singing mood this morning, I guess. I don't know
That's
why.
a good mood to have.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. I don't know. I've felt, even though I'm trying not to talk about it too much on the show, I've felt the staying at home in earnest this week, and I don't know. I'm starting to get a little stir crazy. Not gonna lie, but here we are.
The weather hasn't helped, that's for sure.
Yeah, the weather definitely has not.
If it was sunny every day, then we'd be like, it's fine. I'll go outside. I'll be good.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice out today, so.
And we're in here recording.
I know.
Yeah,
right?
and we're recording a podcast. Let's get into some announcements. As always, if you are a member of our Patreon at the EIP VIP level, you're going to have access to a new bonus pod dropping tomorrow, which is going to focus more on Lock and Key. We're going to be doing Are You Still Watching this week for Lock and Key. I know we're a little late, but as people are looking for new shows to binge during this whole period of staying at home, we thought this would be a fun one to do since we've all watched the series, hence us doing it a little bit differently since usually I think it's like you watch the first 3 episodes and we decide if we're still watching, but we binged the whole thing. So obviously we're still watching. But that bonus episode will focus on Lock and Key, and we're going to compare it to compare the graphic novels and the show and, likes, not likes, things like that. And then also a week from Wednesday will be the 1-year anniversary of Avengers Endgame hitting theaters. And the Mother of Dragons, Karen Brown, and I will be recording a bonus retrospective on that. Really excited. I've heard some of our listeners say they're excited for that one as well. So can't wait for that. And then finally, coming this Sunday, we're doing our big animation episode. And we're going to welcome you guys, our listeners, on to the show, onto Zoom to take part and ask some questions, give some opinions. We'll have the invite out. It should be out by now. So download Zoom. We will be putting the link to the show Zoom meeting for that very soon. And then, go ahead and RSVP for that now. And then actually, let me say one more thing, because last night we had a little bit of fun. We did our first watch along of Inception.
Woo! Wah. Wah. The kick.
Oh my god,
It was great. I'd
totally
spin a top if I had one.
I totally forgot the kick. I totally forgot about that whole part of the movie.
It was really cool, like the whole slow build to that. It was just so enjoyable, and watching the van slowly go into the water, and then Jason. I always forget his name. Is it Jason Gordon-Levitt or
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt doing his Neo Matrix thing in the elevator,
Floating through the hotel.
Yeah. It was just so cool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
And then we'll be doing another one. This weekend,
Yes.
we'll be doing 2011 in Matt's Rewatch series. Though you won't be able to join us, which is too bad, but we'll have you for the next one.
Unfortunately, I'll be working, but that's okay. I've seen Captain America, the First Avenger, enough that I can... If I'm able to be in the Discord, I could pretty much still talk about it.
He'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember this part, even though I'm not watching the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Away. He'll be like, spoilers.
But yeah, so we'll do that again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on our Discord channel. If you haven't joined our Discord channel, go ahead and do that. It's awesome. It's free, and it's just another way for us to all communicate and talk about nerdy, fun shit. So before we get into the show and the meat of it, let's do some quick housekeeping. Brittany, tell us how people can support our show.
Well, the best way to support our show is by joining our Patreon. Actually, I won't say it's the best way, but it's a way to support us. So there's a $2 base tier, and then, of course, you can go up to $5 to be an EIP VIP, or as I like to call them, Eat Veep. So not only will you be supporting our show, you also be able to join our little Facebook group where we can talk about ideas or things that you want to see on the show. And also you'll have access to all of our cool bonus pods. the ones that, you have to be a Patreon to. So, speaking of which, thanks always to our patrons, Billy Peets, Heather Reppert, Kira Conkling, Rob Migliaccio, Michael Cox, Nikki Veazey, Matt Moore, and Cabria Wimbush. How else can people support us, Matt?
I always get put on the spot with this by going on to Apple Podcasts and giving us a 5-star rating.
That would be nice. We need them. We want them.
It just helps other people see us and know that we exist.
Yep.
Exactly.
Give us a rating wherever you're listening. Or if you're on our social media, if you can rate us on there, do that too.
Yep. Anywhere that you can give a review, it helps us get seen. It helps us get more listeners and do more fun things. Speaking of fun things, I forgot one piece of business. We have stickers.
Yeah.
Our stickers are awesome. We have a bunch of them. We would like to give them to you, not for free. We have to make some money so we could do more fun things. $2.50 a pop, and if you want more than that, we're doing 5 for $10. And then if you join our Patreon, you get 2 for free. So I think that's a pretty good deal too. So
we also had our first contest winner. Well, not our first contest, but the big one that we announced this week.
Do you want to do the honor since it was your baby?
I don't have the information in front of me, Julian.
I just expect you to know all the information, Brittany.
That's the nice
get
way
on
of
my
saying
level.
I don't remember who won.
Get on my level.
me.
No, that's okay. I will take the pressure off of you. Congratulations to Emily Louise Hanf for winning our 1,000 Facebook likes Disney Plus contest. We are working with her to get her prize because guess what? She's already a Disney Plus subscriber, and you can't gift it to current subscribers. So we're working with her on a different prize, but she's getting something, which is...
Or we hit her up for her next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, as soon as it expires, let us know.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into some rants and raves, and who's got something? Brittany's smiling. Is she?
I do. It's just, there's a little show on BBC called Killing Eve that's back. And it's amazing. And the first episode of season 3 had like a what ending, which I'm not going to spoil, but it's awesome. And I love just like the fact that it's back on TV, because it's one of those shows that like you remember it's really good and then you forget about it for a little while you're waiting. You're just kind of like, when's that show going to come back? And then boom, they dropped it 2 weeks early. And man, every time Sunday night's approaching or we see the commercials for it, my mom's like, oh my God, Killing Eve. And I'm like, I know, right? It's great. So anyway, if you want to know why Sandra Oh and Jodie Comer have been sweeping the Emmys the last 2 years, check out Killing Eve.
Nice.
You won't regret it. You won't. Soundtrack's amazing.
Yeah, Killing Eve is a show that I've been meaning to watch. I want to watch it. It's we just have so much crap on our DVR still. Like I haven't gotten through the final half of the previous season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. yet. We're watching The Rookie. It's on the list. It's just very deep down the list. But I mean, you rave about it so much.
Yeah. It's only because it's in its 3rd season, and I don't want you guys to like sleep on it.
Yeah.
Before it's too late.
Yeah, I need to watch it, but like Julian, I have so much crap. I just bought the 2nd season of American Gods, and I still need to finish the 1st season. So
that's another one.
That show's wild.
Mm-hmm. It is. I was actually rewatching the 1st episode, and I was kind of reminded of why I enjoy the show so much.
I just love TV. There's just so much to watch right now.
I mean, you guys have told me to watch shows I don't have time for either yet.
Yep.
Instead, I'm like rewatching Battlestar and Fringe. What?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to picture Battlestar Galactica with like a French overlay on it.
Probably knowing Brittany.
I meant and Fringe.
Oh, okay. I thought you said in French.
Oh.
I mean, I can watch it in French. Excusez-moi, Starbuck. Tais-toi.
Oh man.
It'd be great.
Matt, rant or rave?
So I got a rant. I know Julian and I have kind of talked about it a little bit, but for over a month now, I believe it's been, Trials of Osiris has been back in Destiny 2. And if you want to play an infuriating PvP experience, then Trials is your game, because it is such a pain in the ass to even get, because the way the Trials works is that you go and you buy, quote unquote, a card, it's called, from a certain character in the tower. And what happens is that there's different cards. I'm not going to explain them all, but there's cards that, like, one, for example, will forgive if you get a loss. You get 3 losses and then you have to get a new card. Otherwise, you have to get 7 wins in order to get all the gear. And if you go flawless, it's called, meaning you don't have a single loss on your card. You go to the lighthouse and you get this weekly drop of prime gear and stuff like that. Trials is one of the most broken things because the matchmaking is a complete cluster. I mean, I've never, Trials was always bad. I never really got into Trials, but Trials is set up now that you have to either be a streamer or just really, really good to get through it, and it drives me nuts.
I heard that by next week that basically all of Trials is going to end up losing 2/3, if not more, of its player base, having launched 3-4 weeks ago already.
It's like 4 to 5 weeks now because I've gone flawless a few times, but that's only because I've gotten the help of people that are really, really good at streamers that are literally on Twitch and stuff. But yeah, it's been 5 weeks, I'd say, because there was 1 week I didn't go flawless because my guy at the time I was using just wasn't online. He was sick. But yeah, Trials is just so broken. And I've heard similar things, and it's already happened because there's some people that stream every weekend on Twitch, and there have been a lot of drop in viewers because people have gotten their gear and they're like, all right, I'm done with this. So,
well, yeah, no one wants to take part in that shit. I know that people in my clan, there are hard to find to want to play it because of just the bullshit, Iron Banner was this week and I dropped a good 20 hours into that. That's 10 times more fun than even trying to attempt Trials. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because Iron Banner, you don't need to get together the A team in order to try at your best to get the wins you need. So
I wish I had a soundbite for that.
I know, right?
Bum 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 bum. We'll make our own sound bites.
Exactly. It sounds to me like you guys have both trials and tribulations.
Oh.
Yeah.
You are.
By the way, that boo is not just for you, Brittany, but for Trials of Osiris as a whole. So,
it's the Princess Bride boo.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah, it is the best and
It's
only
one of the
boo that
highest
should be
shame.
used. I have a rave. I know I usually rant, but I have a rave.
Oh jeez.
Dune, baby. And I know we're going to talk about it a little later in our odds and ends, but I just have to mention everything about Dune coming out right now, and talking to you and talking to my dad and talking to my other friends who are excited about it. It's just knock on wood, knock on all the wood in the world. We're going to finally maybe get the Dune adaptation that we all deserve.
That we deserve, yeah.
Yes. It is my Lord of the Rings. It is my pride and joy, my love. It is something that I share deeply with my dad. So I can't wait for this movie. I can't wait to hear Hans Zimmer's score for this movie. But we'll get into that in odds and ends. It was a quick little rave.
Let's hope it Arakises our world. That wasn't good.
It was bad. It
was a bad one.
Yeah.
It's okay.
All right, guys.
Don't Leto us down. No, that's worse.
I'm not gonna waste another soundbite on you because you're overreaching.
There's Muad'Dib where that came from. I love it because so many people I could tell I'll say
Shut up,
stuff,
Wesley.
I've never seen Dune and I'm just I can tell it's okay. It's fine.
What, the movie?
Yeah, the other day we were playing a Lord of the Rings game at my house and we got a fear token because some weird shit happened in that game. I'm not gonna explain it. But they were like, what does fear do? And I was like, fear is the mind killer. And they didn't react at all. And I was like, oh my God, you guys need to watch or read Dune.
Before Brittany makes any more horrible Dune puns and make me not want to see the movie, let's get into the
permitted minute.
The permitted minute.
The permitted minute. And we are going to go here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mr. Gata, start the clock.
The 7th and final season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will premiere on ABC on May 27th.
World War Z will be getting a Game of the Year edition as well as a new Nintendo Switch version. In a move that is sure to please video game fans everywhere, the ESRB rating on a game will now be required to tell you that if a game has loot boxes.
Vanity Fair released a first new look at Denis Villeneuve's Dune film. Still on track for fall 2020. More on that in just a moment.
Spider-Man trilogy director Sam Raimi has confirmed that he is in fact directing the upcoming Doctor Strange sequel, Multiverse of Madness.
Disney has announced a new documentary series that will premiere on Disney Plus, focusing on The Mandalorian. It will premiere on May the 4th be with you.
Warner Media and J.J. Abrams will develop a Justice League Dark adaptation for the new streaming service HBO Max.
Yeah, we actually killed that this time compared to last week's. I don't know if last week's were extra long, but we still have time left.
Ironically, I stuttered on the Dune one.
You did after
I thought of another Dune pun as I was reading it, and I was like, that's embarrassing.
Oh man.
I'll take it though. I like it. Yeah, let's go right into odds and ends then, and talk a little bit more about Dune, because initially it looked like we were just going to get that one image of Timothy. Is it Timothy Chalamet? Timothy Chalamet. Thank you, Brittany. This is why we keep you around. As Paul Muad'Dib, and I just that one image got me going, and then boom, Vanity Fair article, like images of everybody that we love. Zendaya as Chani, like for one, like oh my god.
Yeah, no, this is a powerhouse cast. Oscar Isaac as Leto, like I was like, oh my god, I didn't know I needed this. Their outfits are so cool, dude.
The outfits were not, to be fair, what I was expecting.
Wasn't what I expected either.
Having said,
what were you expecting?
I think they're cool as shit. Like just general like military garb,
Well, my last experience, Matt, with a Dune adaptation were the sci-fi miniseries, and they went very extravagant with everything, unlike David Lynch's all black everything bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think I was just expecting that. Having said that, everything is just so nice and streamlined and just cool looking, and like the armor with
it looks really cool
with Leto and dude, Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, man. It looks awesome. And I forgot her name, but the lady from Dr. Sleep, bad guy.
Rebecca Ferguson.
Jessica. Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson. She's gonna be Lady Jessica. Like what?
You can't see it, but Brittany's eyes are literally melting. It's pretty fantastic.
Benny Gesserit are gonna be shook. That's all I'm saying.
Shook. Matt, you've obviously read the Dune books too, right?
No, I haven't.
You have not read the Dune books. So
never read the Dune books.
As an outsider to the excitement that Brittany and I are having seen these images, are you excited to see the film? Does it make you want to read the book before you see it at all?
I know the book is pretty long and all that. I wouldn't mind reading the book. I don't know if I'll be able to get around to it. I don't, I got a lot of stuff that I got to read as well as watch. But I mean, yes, I would be interested in reading the book, and I'm interested in the movie. I'm all about science fiction. I love science fiction, and I mean, as we've discussed in the past, that the movie's going to look gorgeous no matter what, just because I'm not going to try and pronounce the last name like Brittany can. But
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve
Literally means like Newtown in English. So.
But I mean, Denis Villeneuve, he did Arrival and
Blade Runner.
Yeah, Blade Runner 2049. So I mean, he's already got the sci-fi cred, and we know the movie's going to look great. So
yeah, these images, and then Jason Momoa is Duncan Idaho. Also, you got to think, if I don't want to spoil too much for you, Matt, but Duncan Idaho is a very integral part of the Dune franchise, so it's good casting for looking later down the line. I'm interested how they're gonna play his story out in this, because one thing that I did not know about until I believe the Vanity Fair article, or my dad telling me, was rightfully so, they're splitting the first book into 2 movies, and
they have to.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Dune itself is not actually a very long book, but there's just so much in it, There's
a lot of lore.
Yeah, Brittany's favorite word.
Yep. Dune. Okay, Matt, I have YouTube videos I can send you about Dune lore.
Oh God.
And there's ones that are like just overall what's happened in, the 30,000 years. Or there's specific ones that break down each book, if you like those.
There you go.
There's also a fun one that the TED Talk did, that's Dune in 5 minutes, why you should read it. That one's got cool like animation. Might keep you more focused.
Matt's
Okay,
gonna get his footnotes. That's all that matters.
I'm going to get the cliff notes of Dune.
Yeah, I was just showing my brother them to like get him up to speed because I was like, I don't know if you're gonna have time to read these, but like watch these videos. Let's go.
Yeah. Is there anything from this, Brittany, Matt? I mean, Matt, you can't really base it off anything because you haven't read the books. But is there anything, having seen these images, that you're worried about at all, or is it mostly all just happy feels?
I think I'm just like cautiously excited. Like, there's nothing that I see that screams to me like that I'm worried, especially casting wise. Like, I feel like they picked some really strong actors to play these roles. Like, Oscar Isaac's amazing, love him. Timothée Chalamet, like, he's always like in Oscar like nominated or winning films, you know? Like, he's a promising young actor, and it makes sense to actually have like a younger person play Paul because he's 15 when he leaves. You know, like, anyway, I'm so excited.
No, I'm really happy about his age too. I really like how they shaped Oscar Isaacs into looking like Leto. I like that they're taking a more down to earth approach on Baron Harkonnen being played by Alexander Skarsgård. I think it's Alexander. Is it Stellan or Alex? It's one of
No,
those.
Stellan's the older one.
Yeah.
Alexander's the younger one, right?
I always forget. It's the older one though, if I'm not mistaken. It's one of the Skarsgårds. It's a Skarsgård from Thor and
It's a
Avengers.
Skarsgård will be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Like,
Skarsgård from Thor. Now I'm trying to think of who that is.
He plays
the scientist.
the scientist.
I believe that's Stellan.
Stellan Skarsgård.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think
Yep.
so.
Because wasn't Alex the one that did it?
Maybe.
No, that's Bill Skarsgård.
There's so many Skarsgårds.
Yeah, it's Stellan
Alex and
Skarsgård.
Bill
I
are
just
the
looked
young
it up.
ones.
Yeah.
Stellan's the older one.
Yeah, Stellan. He's 68, so it's Stellan.
Well, either way, with the release of these images, you got to imagine that a trailer is on its way very soon. So when we get that, we will be doing either a bonus pod, breaking that down, or doing it on a main episode of the show. So keep your eyes on that. Dune hits theaters in December, still on track despite all the madness. So keep excited about that.
And what will we be doing then? Watching Dune.
God damn you, Brittany.
Hopefully. Whether from our homes or in theaters.
Shame.
All right, guys, let's get into our first segment of the day, and that is the return of Are You Still Watching? Lock and Key Edition. Brittany's making the binoculars for some reason.
Oh my god!
Am I still watching?
Are you still watching? That is the question. This is actually a show. Usually, with Are You Still Watching, we break it into like the first 3 episodes. Like, would you keep watching based off of those? We can kind of do that, but having said that, we've all watched the entire series. We all really enjoyed it. Before we get down into it, let's take a look at the Rotten Tomatoes score. This one isn't as high as some other things that we've talked about. The audience score is a 70%, which is, it's there.
It's above average.
Yeah, it's above average. And then the critic score is a 66%, which is still a tomato. So it's not a splat, but not as high as I thought it would be. I just looked it up. I didn't put it in our notes.
Yeah.
I thought that would be higher.
I think it's just because it's the first season and it starts pretty slow. Like, some people are like, oh, it was pretty neat, but like they are waiting on a second season to really tell if they like it or not.
Yeah, it does have its problems. And I'm not going to say it's a perfect show by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a little surprised the scores are as low as you said, but I mean, I'm sure we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the first season.
Yeah,
and we can break down like some of the stuff that we didn't like about it.
Well, Matt, why don't we just get right down into it then? Let's start with your thoughts. What did you think? And maybe for this first part, let's try, if we can, to stick to those first 3 episodes.
So it's been a while since I watched the show. It's been a couple months, so I might jump around a little bit. I'd have to actually
no, that's
look
okay.
up the episode synopsises again, just to kind of remember what happened in each individual episode. But for those who haven't seen it, I'll just do a very quick rundown. There's basically this family that moves back up to this house, and I think it's in, I don't know if it states what state it is. If it's in Maine, I think it is.
I thought it was Massachusetts.
It's Massachusetts,
Maine,
yeah. In
somewhere
the
in there.
comics, it's called Lovecraft. I forget what
Yes.
they renamed it in the series.
Yeah, I forget, but this family moves back. It's a mom and her 3 children. the father was murdered by a former student of his who basically was making these weird demands that nobody understood what they meant. And essentially the youngest, whose name is Bodhi, he hears whispers and finds a key that essentially allows him to turn any doorway into a portal and go wherever he wants. So yeah, basically the show picks up from there. And like, I remember the first episode with the well. That's kind of what grabbed Heather and I, when he's kind of in the well and then you hear the voice, kind of the female voice, say, come up to him like, hello, or whatever she said. And then you like see her down in the well and she's like, oh, I'm your echo, Bodhi, and stuff like that's when I was like, all right, this is creepy. And this is like, that's what kind of hooked Heather and I, was that moment.
Yeah. It teeters on like, I think the reason why a lot of people don't rate it as high is because they're expecting it to be like Stephen King level creepy. And it is his son, so it has those Stephen King elements, but this is definitely like Stephen King light. But the way they made it for TV, obviously we're going to discuss the graphic novels at another point, but like they definitely made this more family appropriate and like easier and more palatable for viewers, I think.
Yes.
But that part is really funny because the kid that played Bodhi was in
Jackson Robert Scott.
Yeah. It, as the little brother that gets like killed when his little dog goes down the rail. Yeah, Georgie. So when I watched the show, I was just like, oh, good, Georgie learned, because he like hears the voice and at first he walks away. But then he comes back later and I was like, Georgie, you didn't learn anything. Oh. So that's when I was sold, because I was just like, oh man, it is suspenseful. And I like the set design a lot. I was going to say that. I think the first 2 episodes are a bit slower and they have some like cool moments that are kind of thrilling or engaging in a way, but then it starts getting better by episode 3, because that's where they find the head key and you go into their minds and then like stuff gets really weird and cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I'll say. Like, at least give it until the 3rd episode if you are going to watch it.
Yeah. For me, I didn't have a huge issue with it being slow for me. I have a little bit of a bias though. I really love any show that deals with big houses, haunted houses, things like that. Like Haunting of Hill House is probably one of my favorite series I've ever watched on TV. So the minute
made by the same person, just throwing it out there.
Oh, I did not know that.
Right? Or no, I might have lied. Scrap that.
Scrapping.
I'm thinking of Dr. Sleep.
Yep, there you go.
Sorry. I messed up. I'm always thinking of Dr. Sleep.
Always thinking of Dr. Sleep. Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
Ignore me.
So yeah, Haunting a Hill House I love, and the fact that they're moving into this giant key house, which is the name of the house, and there's this hunt for these awesome keys. It immediately brought me in. I think that the story was really interesting, dealing with their dad's loss. The cast really just got me immediately as well. Is good. And then Brittany, I think you and I had some moments where I was like messaging you as I was watching, and I was like, holy shit, what the fuck? And one of the biggest reasons that it hooked me in so much was the actress who plays Dodge, who is the villain of the show, who's played by Leisla de Oliveira. Yeah. Did I get it? I got it.
Leisla. I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, Leisla?
Dude, she kills it. She like steals scenes.
Yeah, she does. She's one of the biggest reasons why I just could not put the show down. She was fantastic. I also really got into the girl who plays Kinsey, Amelia Jones. I think that she was great. I thought the guy who plays Tyler, Connor Jessup, was fine. I don't like the character that much. I didn't like him in the graphic novels very much either. But he was fine. Yeah,
I think they just needed to give him a little more in the show.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
If they take a little more from the books of his backstory and like slowly plug it in more in the show, like that's how I feel about all the characters. If they take tiny bits, just the bits that are needed from the books, and throw them in there, sprinkle them, we'll be good for a second season.
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think. So it is the 3rd episode where they find the head key.
Yep, I'm making sure I'm looking up the episodes as we go on my phone.
Good move.
But yeah, that one's Head Games. So yeah, at first it's just the kids trying to adapt to like, a new school and living in a new place. So that's why the first 2 episodes don't seem as strong, and then it gets more solidified.
Yeah, for sure. When did you guys each, I guess, Matt, we'll go back to you. When did you, I think you said it was the well, but Did you know from then, like, this is just something that you were going to completely just binge through quickly, or did you guys spend some time watching it?
So we watched it over, I want to say 2-ish weeks. We watched it on the weekends when I was off work at the time. So yeah, we like as I said, we went through a few. I don't remember how many episodes we did in the first day, but we definitely we essentially did the Reppert version of binging it when we first started watching it. You know, as I said, like that scene with the well, that kind of grabbed us. And after that, we were like, all right, you know, this, we want to see what happens. That's basically what's kind of happened each episode, is we wanted to see how the story continued from that point.
Mm-hmm.
And Brittany, how about you?
Yeah, I think the way the episodes end make them really bingeable. From what I remember, like a lot of times they end with like, oh no, Dodge got another key, or oh no, they don't know this is happening, or this is coming for them. But I was pretty much sold by the well scene in the first episode as well. I mean, I already knew, I was excited for the show because I knew of the graphic novels, even though I hadn't read them. And I like Joe Hill's work. I love Stephen King. So I was like, oh, this is something his son did. I'm going to watch it no matter what. And I watched it in 2 days, I think. I watched like the first 4 episodes the one day, or maybe first 5. Came home from work, watched the other 3. And I was just like, I love it. And then I wrote about it for our website. So I'd suggest if you want a relatively spoiler-free entire season 1 review, like just check out my article on everythingispermitted.com. Shameless
Oh,
plug.
what a plug. What a plug. I love it. Yeah, Brittany, the whole reason I started watching Lock and Key wasn't very high up on my list, was you were like, oh, I wrote a season 1 review. And I was like, okay, well, am I going to be really spoiled by it? She's like, yeah, you should probably watch first. I'm like, how much do I need to watch? And you told me like 7 episodes. I was like, okay, I could do that. I could do that in about
just for 1 sentence I wrote in that you kept.
I did. I kept it because I didn't actually end up thinking it was overly spoilery. But here I am. I'm like, all right, well, here we go. I'll start. I could not put it down. I could not put it down. I think I was slowly messaging you my progress of where I was. And I was actually sad I couldn't binge it all in one day. I had to spread it over 3 days. But I did watch those first 7 episodes in that one day so I could read your review. Not because I couldn't have spread it out, because I could not put the show down. And Netflix did a good job, I think, with how, you know, they put out shows, and it is the binge model. The minute an episode ends, every single episode basically at a cliffhanger. You're like, oh shit, even if I wanted to stop, I can't.
Yeah, you're
you
like,
know?
let me just know what happens.
Yeah. So I absolutely loved it. So at this point, I would say, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, how did you guys feel about the soundtrack of the show? Because I really liked a lot of the songs they used. And I know you like that one Billie Eilish song they used, because you texted me and you're just like, no way. And I was like, yes, yes way.
I wish that they had released a original soundtrack with the songs. I just I downloaded the score before we started recording for our bonus episode that we're doing. But yeah, it had such good, you know, like the kind of like alternative music that we're all listening to today, if you're into it, including Billie Eilish, You Should See Me in a Crown. Spoiler alert.
A very iconic moment.
Yeah, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. When Dodge puts on the crown
of Shadows.
The Crown of Shadows, and I'm just like, holy shit.
That was like shot for shot, almost like in the comics.
It was.
I know we'll talk about it later, but I like the little things.
Yeah.
But overall, I love the set design. I love the way the house was. And I liked how they did the magic in the show with the keys. Like, I think the effects are really well done.
Yes.
Like, for what they did. And they couldn't pull off half the crap that happens in the books because, like, it's impossible. You don't have a budget like that on a Netflix show.
I'm also glad they didn't, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. They didn't need to. They built suspense in a different way, which I liked.
Yep.
But I love that house. Love those keys. I hate how empty and big the house... Well, sorry. I love how empty and big the house feels in the beginning of the show, because the characters are so separated by their own, like, even though it's a shared trauma, they're, like, so isolated from each other. And as they grow throughout the season, even as you're watching, you feel like the house is more lived in, and it feels like a family by the end. Like, they feel connected again when they're sitting around the table. And I'm like, man, this is a big house, but like the house is as big of a character as they are. Like, it has a personality.
Well, you gotta love that too. And Matt, I want to have you touch on the set design too. The house, like Key House, is a character in the show. You talk about, you talk about I think some people make this example. Sometimes I've heard it in the Star Trek world, how Voyager was very much like a character in Voyager, and how in Battlestar, the Galactica was very much its own character. Key House is a character of the show. You cannot say it isn't, and I thought that was really cool. Matt, how about you on the set design, the building of suspense, stuff like that?
I also really enjoyed the house, and also like everybody else has already kind of said, I enjoyed the way the magic was portrayed in the show. It was kind of, for other than the I don't even know what the key that makes the flames, like it was kind of understated magic, and which sometimes I really enjoy that, where it's like the subtle, like you don't even almost know it happened magic, where it's like a spell essentially has just been cast and nobody seems to know about it until they essentially walk right into it. And I kind of like that's how they did that with the keys, because it makes it's one of those things where it's like, well, if these keys were that powerful, how has nobody really known about them? And obviously there are reasons that are given in both the show and the graphic novel, but the fact that the magic is so subtle, and it's like when Dodge, for example, goes in and out of different parts of the world using the Anywhere key, it's cool just how that whole thing is done. And like Brittany said, yeah, because you're just like, oh man, like, because I was always wondering like what was Dodge's next move in almost every episode that she was in, where she did something. I was like, all right, what's the point of this? What's she doing? And so that buildup of suspense as well was much like the magic. It was subtle. And, when it finally hits that you're like, oh man, this is what's going on. That's when I was like, I really love this show.
I don't know if this show would have been nearly as good had they not gotten the right actor to play her, because she is the villain that you love to hate, and you almost don't even hate her because she does the role so well. You're so like ingrained in her story and what she's doing. I mean, obviously as well as the families, but she was just so good you couldn't take your eyes off of her.
Yeah, she was really good, and to the point where even when she uses a key that allows her to change into a male form, I'm not going to spoil it for people, but like I still was thinking like human me who's in my body realizes that like, oh, they got a male actor now to play that part. But like fantasy brain me was like, oh my God, she's so cool. She became a man and I still believe it. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why, but I was just like, wow, it's still her. She's doing these awesome things. I totally forgot. Like I looked at it later and I was like, oh wait, there were two different actors for Dodge. I like totally forgot.
Yeah.
Because I just believed that, oh, okay, they just changed her into a man.
And also, I'm just going to put this out there. Probably one of the most chilling things about the whole show was just how Dodge would do evil and not even think twice about it. Like, she pushes a kid in front of a train.
I wasn't going to spoil that, but here it is.
Yeah, I mean, that was like, oh my God. Like, when that happened, and she just literally was just like, okay, and just boom.
Yeah, like, she's as ruthless and insidious as in the graphic novel, but in a way that I think was more entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Like in this version, because you really didn't know, like every time she used an Anywhere key, you're like, where is this going? What's she doing? And the fact that she has the Anywhere key, and when they're in the house, you're just like, she could appear at any
time. And she does. And she does.
And she does. And you're just like, fuck, she's here again. Oh, God. The minute they forget about her, she pops up.
Yeah. I want to go back to the scene that you were just talking about, Matt, with the kids, that scene. Even though you should expect it, I wasn't expecting her to do that. And I remember when she does, I just let out an audible, holy shit. And that's the moment where, because Karen heard me, she's like, what happened? I'm like, you need to watch this show. And she started watching a few episodes behind me.
Nice.
Yeah, she was watching it last night, actually. It's such a good show.
It's an easy show to rewatch too.
It is.
Like, just put it on the background.
Well, yeah. After Inception, she put on an episode. I was like, "Come sit with me and watch it." She's like, "No, I want to make more masks." I'm like, "But I want to watch it again."
I want to see Tyler and Bodhi and Kinsey kick some butt.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked the keys they made up for the show too. Like they combined the uses of some keys, but then other ones like they made just for the show. But like plot wise and like emotionally, they made sense. So like I was cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because like you have the memory jars in the books, and they basically made that the memory tree with the jars.
Yeah.
From the brother.
Yeah.
I'm still trying not to spoil, but like it's the little things I like.
The other thing that I really want to say that I wasn't expecting when this show first starts and you find out that Randall Locke has died, and you see, is it Michael Cho or the character who sticks the Mark Cho?
Yeah.
When Mark sticks the key in his chest and engulfs
himself.
Yeah.
From that point on, I was expecting a completely different show than we got, and that's not a bad thing. But I was like, oh shit, this is going to be like dark, and luckily it wasn't. And that's how I kind of want to segue into this show. So it's something that we're going to be deep diving into our bonus pod. So if you want to listen to that, you should subscribe to our Patreon. But I was expecting a deeper, darker show, but they did a really good job of making this like TV 14. So like parents could watch this show with your family, because if you made a straight adaptation of the graphic novel, you wouldn't be able to do that. And I actually appreciate that in so many ways, because I don't need another like dark mindfuck show again. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm over that. I think this had fun moments, and you didn't like leave like feeling like you wanted to put a bullet in your brain afterwards, if that makes sense. I want to briefly touch on the tone, and even though we're going to do a deeper dive later on how it was for you guys, if you were happy that it went this direction.
I definitely liked that it had like a lighter playfulness to it, at least as far as like, it makes sense because even in the graphic novels, when the father's younger with his friends and they're teenagers, like they use the keys for fun. Like it's fun to them. Like until some, crazier shit happens, that's what they use it for. It's the same thing in the show. Like the youngest brother, Bodhi, finds it first and he uses it, for fun things. He's like, oh, look, I'm flying. Oh, wait, that's what really is happening. And gets his older siblings involved, and that's how they learn to connect again, because they have something they can share. And even though their mom can't see it at first, because adults can't see the magic, it's all very weird. But like it has some very intense moments, and you do have this supernatural threat, which is pretty scary at times, but they balance it out with like, you have a scary being, but the scarier thing in the show is the trauma they're dealing with.
Yeah.
And as they heal from that, like you feel like they're getting stronger and stronger, and they'll be able to fight this greater force. So like thematically, I feel like the show handles it well, and in a way that's more enjoyable for me. I didn't have fun reading the graphic novels. Like there were like the last two books I liked a lot, and we'll talk about it once again in another episode. Don't want to get into it too much, but like the show, I have fun watching, whether it's like thrilling and I'm like worried for the characters, or it's lighthearted and I know we're safe for the moment. So I like how it balances both, and I like that, if I had like one of my younger cousins over, not the super young ones, but like, I don't know, if somebody who was like 14 or 15 was over, I could watch the show and be okay watching with them. If the graphic novel was made shot for shot, I could not watch this with a 15-year-old. I don't even want to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, it was just unnecessary. Some things in it. I like some things in the graphic novel, but...
Let's, before we wrap it up and get into the question of are we still watching, let's talk about some of our favorite moments from the series. More like when we do reviews. Matt, I'll start with you. You watched this with Heather, obviously. Favorite moments from season 1 of Lock and Key.
As I said, we really liked the reveal of at first she was just called Echo, but she's really Dodge in the well, because that was creepy, unsettling, and it did a good job setting the tone, for the series, that like, okay, there is a lot of weird crap going on and I want to know what it is now. So yeah, episode 1, the reveal of Echo and her talking to Bodhi and all that. So yeah, that was one of my favorite moments.
I really like the episode where, they go into Kinsey's mind and they see what she had to deal with in the moment that her dad was killed, because they dealt with a home invasion essentially by someone they knew. So you're seeing she blames herself for what happens, but you're seeing what she did in that moment, and like how she thinks that her fear is not a good thing, and she literally wants to take it out of her.
Yeah.
So like I thought that whole thing was really awesome, and obviously that happens in the books as well, but like I just loved seeing that, because like you're in suspense, even though it's her mind and they should be somewhat relatively safe. They're like not safe because of what's going on in her mind. You know what I mean?
Well, that goes back to like us watching Inception last night, right? Like it's very much the same idea.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, my subconscious won't hurt me, right? And I'm like, okay, Jan. But man, I just pretty much any moment that the uncle was there also, I loved it. Like I love him, and also just the magic of the keys. Like I was always excited when they found another key. I'm like, what does this one do? What are we doing next? So when the kids got to work together, it was nice.
Yeah. For me, I absolutely love the whole what do you call the type of scene? It's a like when Dodge gets the anywhere key finally, and they have that whole montage of her going like and getting everything that she needs and like this freedom that she has. So yeah. So like, you know, she goes to like a club and like she robs a store and gets like a pretty outfit, and then she goes and like eats like the most biggest breakfast ever, and then like hacks some dude's computer, and he's like, hey, that's my computer, and then she just like kisses him on the lips with like donut mouth, and I'm like, yep. I can't get enough of this character. And then I think by now everybody knows Dodge is my favorite thing about this show. So then the whole shadow scene, like,
dude, that culminating moment is a big one, and it's so hard because there's so many big moments we can't talk about because there's spoilers.
But the minute she puts that crown on and they're in the house with the shadows, and like that's when Dodge, I think, is finally at her most menacing, and like she really becomes the villain. Like, okay, she's not fucking around anymore. She's putting the crown on. It's on, bitch. And I love that. So those are my two favorites. Let's go around real quick. Matt, were you and are you still watching? Actually, this will be a good, interesting way to revamp Are You Still Watching a little bit, since we've all watched the show already. Are you still watching Ready for Season 2?
Yes, absolutely. I think they've already announced the season 2 is going to be made, so I'm obviously very happy about that. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with the story. I like how they've diverged from the graphic novel in their own way, and I'm really interested to see how they go forward with, you know, obviously what happened at the end of season 1 and all that other fun stuff.
Brittany.
I'm absolutely still watching. I think that the show made the characters more likable and realistic. Like, these are real people I could feel like would exist in our world, as fantastical as the show might be. And I found it extremely enjoyable. My whole household watched it probably within the first week it dropped, because I hyped it up ahead of time, being like, hey, this show drops this weekend, let's go. And then we did watch it, and I don't know, I loved the actors in it. And I just can't wait to see where it goes next. I'm excited to see how they're going to do the show, considering how it ended and considering what's left in the books they haven't touched on. So it's like, will they introduce more keys? Will they not? Are they just going to keep continuing the good fight the way they are? We don't know. It's just great. I like it. I gave it a 4 out of 5, I think.
Yeah.
Because like it's more so anticipation of like, what more will they do? I need something else to get me to be like, this show is the best thing ever. Right now, it's just like, this is a dang good fantasy / kind of supernatural thriller show.
Yeah. I'm hooked. I'm ready for season 2. I absolutely loved it. I like you. There's some things from the graphic novels that I would be excited to see in a second season. I don't think that you could do a second season without introducing more keys. Having said that, I like the amount of keys that we have. I don't want them to go overkill with it. So yeah, but I'm ready. Obviously I binged it in like 2 days. I'm absolutely ready for season 2. 2 shows like on Netflix, kind of like the same kind of not the same subject, but dealing with a house. Like I'm ready for Lock and Key season 2, and I'm ready for Haunting of Hill House season 2. Yeah. So,
fun fact: the girl that plays Nell in Haunting of Hill House went to our high school. She was in my brother's grade.
Oh, you told me that. That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know her, but he knew her from like math class or something.
But as we get more information about Lock and Key season 2, stick around, check out our website, and listen on the show. We might do a trailer breakdown, or when we get more details, talk about it a little bit more. Let's get into our main segment of the day. And Matt, this is one of your brainchilds. We only did one of these and then put it on the back burner for a really long time. It is the return of what?
It is the classic casting call. So you want me to explain the whole thing?
Sure.
For everybody?
Go
right.
ahead.
So classic casting call is basically taking a film or TV property that is known and loved and nobody could ever think of doing something, of remaking it or anything like that, However, you're sitting at home one day and there's a knock at your door and it's Hollywood or whomever saying
Hollywood.
yeah, and they're basically, for whatever reason, they say we're going to remake X property, and we want you to help us cast the people for these roles. And so, if there's any hope that this thing is going to be good, you're going to have to help them cast the right actors, actresses, and all that for these roles. So, having said that, Julian, what are we doing classic casting call for this week?
All right, all you Slayer fans, all you Buffy fans out there, it is our Buffy the Vampire Slayer classic casting call. And Matt, I did throw you for a loop with this one. I did not know ahead of time that you had not ever seen Buffy, but I decided to go with it anyway because I thought that would be a really unique perspective on your part as someone who maybe had wanted to watch it, never did, but doesn't know anything really about these characters and had to kind of cast the show from scratch. So I kind of like that curveball. We're going to go through it. I know Brittany's stoked. We also have some listener and friend emails who gave us their list as well, so we'll go through some of those. And we're going to go down a list. We're obviously going to save the best for last. Buffy will be at the end, but we are going to start with everybody's favorite, for lack of a better term, high school bitch in Cordelia. And Brittany, why don't you take it away? Who is your pick for Cordy?
I'm so glad we just did Lock and Key beforehand, because I said the perfect Cordelia, or if this doesn't work out, perfect Drusilla, but she's not part of Scooby Gang, would be Laisla de Oliveira. I just think she's a badass bitch as Dodge. Could you imagine her as Cordelia? Do you know what I mean?
Julian's reaction.
That's who I wrote, legitimately. I also said, for the majority of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer cast, I would just take the Magician's cast who's unemployed right now and throw them in. But
how did I know that?
Just because it's basically the newer Buffy.
Yeah.
Brittany, don't spoil one of my picks, damn it.
No, I was just saying, that was my joke. I literally wrote, why don't we just use the entire Magician's cast? But then I didn't actually do that. I'll use one of them.
I was literally just blown away beforehand with your pick for Cordy, just because I see it. It would totally work. It's just it's so out of left field. Yeah, I really dig it. Before we get to you, Matt, we'll kind of go back and forth between our reader and listener picks here. Where did I put them? Here they are. So, our friend over at the Infamous Podcast, Brian Tudor, he sent me an email with who he would put, and for Cordy, he put, and I've never heard of this person. Maybe you guys have, Megan the Italian.
Don't know her.
I'm gonna pull her up.
I'd have to see a pic.
I'm gonna pull her up on the interwebs here. Because I don't recognize the name. Let's see.
Pixar didn't happen.
Oh, Megan Thee Stallion.
She's an American.
She's a rapper. Oh yeah, she definitely has the Cordy look for sure. And she's 25, but she looks like she could be younger, so it definitely works out. Yeah, I mean, she looks like she could be that high school bitch who's popular and everybody wants to be friends with her. Yeah.
Cordelia had some mad character growth though.
Oh, so. For real. I mean, from the minute
that didn't watch Angel.
Yeah, for people who didn't watch Angel, Cordy becomes a really decent human being, and
still a badass bitch.
And really, she's a hero. She's a hero. Mm-hmm. Matt, let's move to you. Who did you pick, having never seen this show before?
So once again, I had to do some research to see all right, how are these characters portrayed and all that other stuff. So if there's a Buffy fan who's why would you pick that actor? I as I said, I haven't seen this, so I apologize. So, but my pick, and as I said, Brittany almost kind of spoiled it for me, but Summer Bishil, who plays Margot in The Magicians.
I mean, that's a great fucking pick.
She was my backup pick, but you'll be surprised where I put her here.
Oh boy. But yeah, because from what I read, Cordelia, was kind of like a high school bitch. And as Julian said, she becomes a decent, good person and everything like that. So I was thinking to myself, who could I pick that could kind of do all of that? And so, yeah, I went with Summer Bishil.
I
Summer
mean,
Official is one of the greatest actresses on TV right now.
her role in The Magicians was one of my favorite things about that show. End of story.
Yeah, Margot is incredible. Way better than her book counterpart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I owe that all to like Summer. I've even tweeted that to her, and she's been like, "Thank you." And I'm like, "You're welcome.
You're
I am humble at your feet."
Matt, I think for you're batting 1 for 1 already. Like that's a good pick. I'm impressed. And then Geneva, our friend Geneva, one of our producers, had an equally good pick. I like it a lot. Vanessa Hudgens as Cordelia, a younger Vanessa Hudgens, I think would be absolutely perfect for sure.
I don't think she even has to be younger. Like the original Cordelia was like 35.
Yeah,
or some crazy shit.
Vanessa Hudgens
maybe
is only
30.
31, so
Exactly.
yeah, true.
It's like a CW show. Let's go.
And then finally, my pick is Sarah Jeffrey. She is from those Disney movies for kids. If you've heard of them, The Descendants.
Oh, I've seen that with my little cousin.
Yeah. So
which one is she?
she is she's like kind of the
The blonde hair girl?
no, she's the dark hair girl. If you look her up, she's
the one with the apple.
yes, I believe she's the one with
They
that.
have all the
with-
toys.
Yeah.
they get those wonderful toys.
So she plays Princess Audrey, who's the daughter of Princess Aurora and Prince Philip, and she's kind of a bitch. And she's just she has the look, she has the feel, and I thought that was a good pick. Karen helped me with some of these. I was struggling with Cordy for a little bit. Vanessa Hudgens was actually on my list, and then Karen was like, "How about Sarah Jeffrey?" And I was like, "Oh yeah," because we've been watching some of these as well with Cecily, because she's kind of at that stage where she's getting into those kind of things. So I thought this was a good pick. Let's move on to everybody's favorite. Going from a bitch to a witch. You like what I did there, Brittany?
Willow's never a bitch, though.
No, she's not. Well,
Season 6.
Season 6
Hold
was.
on.
Hold on.
Bored now.
Bored now.
Love her.
Moving on to Willow, who is one of my all-time favorite characters on television. And let's flip it this time. Matt, we'll start with you this time because I'm curious as an outsider who you cast.
So obviously I went, Allison Hannigan is kind of like a famous redhead and all that. So I was like, all right, I need a redhead or something like that. Somebody who, and actually the youngest of all of my picks, but I picked Sophia Lillis, who played Bev in It Chapter 1 and 2.
Damn you!
Oh, yeah.
The young Bev.
I'm not gonna lie, she was also my original first thought, but she's not who I picked.
Matt,
okay.
you're 2 for 2 because you stole my pick. Not that that's a bad thing. I think we're on the same page there. She also, I think, could go into that role absolutely perfect. She's got, she's kind of a nerd, but kind of not. Like she's kind of in between.
Like shy, awkward teenager.
Yeah, exactly. And
that's all her roles.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, she's very typecast right now, but I think would be excellent as Willow. Let's Brittany, before we get to back to Brian's list here for Willow. He had another name I don't know. Hopefully you guys do, so I don't have to look it up again. Miranda Cosgrove. No? Anybody?
Oh, from iCarly?
You guys can't see Brittany's reaction.
I just looked her up. I don't really see it, but okay. Sure.
Hey, anybody can dye their hair these days. We're fine.
It's not the hair. It's just like I don't know. She just looking at her initially, like I think she could even be a Cordy instead of a Willow. That's just me. But yeah, and then Geneva, since Matt took my pick, I won't go this round. Geneva had Cynthia Ganault. Is that right?
I don't know who that is.
All right, I'm gonna look her up. I should have had these all pulled up beforehand, but this. Oh,
it's more exciting this way.
Oh, you're gonna like this, Brittany.
Do I know her?
You do know her. She played little Sarah, or Sarah's daughter on Orphan Black.
Do you mean the clone one or her actual daughter? Like her actual daughter in the show, Sarah Manning's daughter?
Yes.
Okay, so not clone, the actual birth child.
I'm looking.
Actual birth child.
The one that she leaves with her, like,
She
mom?
played Charlotte / young Rachel Duncan.
No, then that's the clone one.
That's the clone.
That
okay.
girl, that actress is fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
First of all. Who are we saying? Willow?
Yeah, for Willow, she's still
How
a
old
little
is she
young.
now?
She's young.
She's like, I feel like she's like 14 now, right?
Yeah,
15?
I mean, I guess if you're gonna really cast them as high school students,
No, but that makes sense. Like if
yeah.
we're actually going age appropriate.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good pick. She kind of has the look for it. I dig it. That was kind of out of
She
left
has
field.
witchy vibes.
She does have witchy vibes. I dig this
Dang.
pick. Nice
Okay.
job, Geneva. All right, so Brittany, who is your pick for Willow?
Okay, so originally I first thought of the girl that played Bev because whatever, but I went very interesting with my casting choices as that I didn't typecast anyone. So I went drastically different. So I picked Jodie Comer as Willow, who is from Killing Eve. She does not have red hair, but in that show she disguises herself as many people because she's an assassin. This woman has the range. And with the age group I picked for like these characters, she fits in because she's like around my age.
I just
She
looked
can
her up.
be-
She's got yeah, okay.
But the thing is, I'm trying to give an example. In the show, one of the personalities or like fake people she pulls off has red hair, is like this calming personality, like is very Willow-like. But I just need you guys to see the show because you need to know. But she could easily pull off Willow, and the reason I picked her more specifically is because if the show were to be redone and Dark Willow happens again, she can do both extremely well. Like all ranges of Willow's emotions, from like being normal high schooler, kind of figuring out she knows magic, oh my god, I'm also gay, like, and then off the deep end, like half of that is already Villanelle from Killing Eve anyway.
Yeah.
So she just kills people. She doesn't use magic.
An interesting pick. I think probably the most interesting pick of the day. I think Matt and I definitely went a little bit of the typecasting route. I don't have a
fine.
problem with that. Geneva's pick was also very good, and yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I only put her here because I was originally thinking of her as Buffy, but I picked somebody else for Buffy, so I moved Jodie to Willow.
Y'all are never gonna figure out who I picked for Buffy, and you'll know it immediately when I tell you who it is. But we'll get there. I can't wait. Let's move.
Is it me?
It's you, Brittany. It's
Can't wait for my SAG card.
Brittany. It's definitely you.
It's Brittany, bitch.
You beat me to it.
All right, let's move on to everyone's favorite awkward nerd / kind of a douchebag at times, Xander. And Brittany, we'll lead with you again this time. Who was your pick?
I picked Randall Park. Because that man is fucking hilarious.
The age range is
And
all
also-
wrong, though.
I find it extremely unrealistic that Buffy had no Asian friends. So,
But
like, come on. You're telling me her best friend wouldn't have been Randall Park?
Randall Park is 46 though.
Doesn't matter in my version.
I think it does.
He doesn't
I
doesn't
think-
look 46.
Randall
He
Park.
doesn't look
A dude
15 or
approaching
60.
50 hang out with some teenagers. It's not creepy at all. Don't worry about it, guys.
Have you seen any CW show? They're all like in their 30s.
It's still more believable than Randall
Okay.
Park.
Well, Randall Park, hear me out. He's got the hilariousness. He can be charming. Did you see that movie he was in with Amy Wong? That one was really good.
Yeah,
I know.
I watched it with Karen. Yeah,
That
it's good.
version. That's a Xander.
No, it's
Come
not.
on.
It's
Anyway.
no.
He'd be wholesome.
Try again.
He'd be more feminist. I think Xander needs to be feminist these days if it was remade.
Oh, good God. Let's.
You're just mad because he's older.
I
Come on.
know. I don't think it works. Let's go to someone else's list and see if it works.
Y'all are rude.
I am rude. It's true. Again, another name I don't recognize. I guess is going to be the theme of Brian and Geneva's list. Cole Sprouse as Xander was Geneva's pick, and
I feel like I know that name. Why do I know that
He's
name?
he's the kid from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and also
Oh, he is a good pick.
he's in Riverdale.
Yep,
Hmm.
he could be nerdy. Yep, I think that's a good pick. I
Look
think
at Randall Park. He doesn't look that old.
you're no, like
He's not a high schooler, I know. I'm just picking actors I think would do the role well.
You
They're not
get
age appropriate.
nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh, Jesus.
He could have played him in the 90s. He's that old. So
There you go.
maybe. Let's get your pick, Matt.
So my pick for Xander, as I said, I had to do research on this, and it's funny. I didn't take this from this article where I looked up like their recast and everything, but it was the exact same actor. But I picked Joe Keery from Stranger Things, who plays Steve Harrington.
Oh Oh, that's an easy choice. I should have done that one.
Yeah, like because I was like, I need somebody who can be nerdy and all, but likable and all that stuff. And honestly, like to me, it fit because Steve in Stranger Things, like pretty much is already the Xander character. So I was like, I got to go with Joe Keery. So.
Remember before we started recording, and I jokingly said, if we keep this age appropriate, it's just going to be the Stranger Things cast.
We're getting
and Julian
there, right?
laughed.
This was my only Stranger Things pick, so I'm proud to say that.
I purposely ignored them because I don't want them to feel overused.
Matt, though, I will say though that you're killing this challenge so far. 3 for 3, I would say, very good picks. Before we get to mine, let's look at Brian's for where are we on Xander? Justice Smith.
I feel like I know that name.
He is an American actor best known to international audiences for his role as Franklin Webb in the 2018 science fiction film. Oh, he was in Jurassic World.
Yeah, okay. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah, and he was also in Detective Pikachu. Yeah, I see it. He's yeah.
Yeah, he could do it.
Yeah.
He's also closer to the age.
He is. He was born in 95.
I should have just stuck to people in their 20s.
Yeah,
Y'all
I mean, Randall fucking Park. I can't, like, my mind is still not, like, computing. And then for my pick, Brittany, I will say what you said at the beginning of the segment. I'm very glad that we all just watched Locke and Key or talked about Locke and Key because my pick was Patrice Jones, who plays the filmmaker. He plays Scott.
Yep.
And
these were people I considered, and then I picked Randall Park because I thought it would be fun, and you guys shamed me.
Rightfully so. Yeah, I think that he's perfect. I think that, he also pretty much plays Xander, I think, in Locke and Key a little bit.
Basically.
So I
Pick
think
any nerd boy from the last 20 years and you got it.
Yeah. I think that would be a very easy transition. So
that's a good choice, though. It's a good one.
Thanks. Yeah, I think I like his actor too. And I wouldn't make him become like Americanized. I would keep the British accent, like he'd be an exchange student or something. I don't know. Anyway, Xander. Nice. Let's move on to our favorite British vampire. Brittany, I think we started with you last time. So Matt, your choice for Spike.
So Spike, now this happened twice in my list, where it happened for Spike and it happened for another character, which we'll get to, where I actually had two actors and I figured you could choose between either one of them. So for Spike, I went with either Alex Pettyfer or Dan Stevens. So Alex Pettyfer, his career's kind of stalled a little bit. He was in Beastly, Magic Mike, and I Am Number 4. Mm-hmm. And Dan Stevens was Beast in the Beauty and the Beast live action, and he was also in Downton Abbey.
I see Alex Pettyfer. I see it. I could definitely see that. I'm looking at Dan Stevens right now. I think Dan Stevens is maybe he's kind of rugged. He could maybe do it too. I think I like Pettyfer better.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, like there was a couple of photos of Dan Stevens. I thought that he could pull it off, but as I said, I was kind of like I can't really pick between the two of them, so I just put both on my list.
I mean, with Spike, you just have to find an actor who's willing to bleach his hair and just a good actor, and you're good.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's what they did. Both he and Angel were way older than Sarah Michelle Gellar, but they cast them anyway.
We're going to move on to Geneva's list here, and her pick is really unique, and I kind of dig it, in Letitia Wright.
Yeah.
I thought
it was Letitia. Is
it Letitia? I see Letitia. Letitia? Am I pronouncing it wrong? It's not Letitia. Oh, unless the TIA is an S. And,
it's okay. We'll go with what you said.
No, you might be right, though. I think you're right. Letitia Wright. So she was obviously in Black Panther. That is kind of what she's known
as
now.
Everybody's favorite character.
Yeah. Shuri, who's amazing. I think it would be a really unique role for her. I think that she could pull it off. I didn't think I would hear myself say that, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought about gender bending the roles, but I didn't want to be too crazy. I wish I would have. Because I know so many more female actresses that I feel like could pull off half these parts amazingly.
Yeah. And then I'll just go with Brian's before I go to mine too, since I'm already looking at the list. So he had Jeremy Irvine
Ooh, that name sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar.
Jeremy Irvine.
He is from War. He was in War Horse, The Fallen, Treadstone, all things that I don't think I've ever seen. He's got.
I could see it just
Yeah.
looking at him.
Yeah, I
see
can
it.
kind of see it. And then my pick is someone who's been in Kingsman and also in Spotless, and that actor is Jono Davies. He is also an English actor, and I don't know. I saw what he looked like, and I think he would be perfect. I don't know if you guys are pulling him up right now. It's Jonno and then Davies. He was in Kingsman. He was in Ben-Hur. I don't know. He's got that like bad boy. Definitely would bleach his hair and wreak havoc look.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I definitely could see it.
Yeah, you could pull it off, I'm sure.
Yeah.
His IMDb photo actually looks
Has
pretty
slicked back
good.
tail.
Yeah, like if
Yeah.
you just dye his hair blonde, you probably could get a spike right there on the spot.
Yep. Exactly. So, okay, let's move on.
What about me?
Did you not go?
No, I go last this time.
I screwed it up. Well, there's too many people on the list.
It's fine because you guys are just going to shame me anyway.
I am. It's true. Go ahead.
Okay, this guy's not too old. Don't worry. I picked Robert Sheehan, and if you don't know him, he played Klaus in Umbrella Academy and was also in the British show Misfits. Both as like lovable, kind of like douchebag characters, but also have a heart of gold. Whatever. But he's already an Irish actor. All you have to do is slick back his hair and dye it blonde, and he has an extremely good range of emotional abilities as an actor. If you've seen Umbrella Academy, like he deals with PTSD after traveling back in time to Vietnam. Like his character's there for a while, so like he can pull off some emotional depth, but also he can pull off a badass character. An asshole, but a likable asshole.
I never finished Umbrella Academy, but I know the character, I know the role from what we did watch, and I'm not going to shame you on this. I think it's a very good pick.
No, yeah.
Yep, I see
Thank
it.
you.
I totally see it. No shame there. Well done.
Oh, you're
I
gonna
think you guys are gonna shame me forever because I said Randall Park. I was thinking of somebody who can encompass the character, not who.
We're just having fun.
Vindication for Randall.
When you said you were going to shame me, I thought you were going to pick like some 60-year-olds.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Oh my God,
No.
be perfect as their lovable high school like villain.
Well, you can't have Spike without Angel, played by Philly's own David Boreanaz, another one of
I
my
love
favorite
him.
characters on TV ever. I love David Boreanaz and I love Angel. Brittany, we'll start with you this time. Who was your pick?
John Boyega. Hear me out. He should have had a bigger role in Star Wars. He has the appeal of a big protagonist. I'd also think it'd be cool to see him in kind of a romantic role. Also, he would be cool as a vampire. Think about him this way. I'm just saying, look at the potential.
Okay, I like John Boyega.
He could carry his own spin-off.
Don't get me wrong. I like the actor. I think he was great as Finn. And he's not a bad-looking guy, but he's not like Angel sexy. And Angel has to be like super sexy. And David Boreanaz, coming from a pretty straight dude who has a few man crushes, David Boreanaz is a very sexy man.
Sorry, I'm a lesbian, and I think John Boyega is amazing. So, literally, when you're like, who could be sexier? I'm like, he's an aesthetically pleasing man.
Let's
You
look.
hear that, John Boyega? You're aesthetically pleasing.
My Angel goes well with my Buffy. You'll
Okay,
see.
okay, that works.
No, you're good.
Brian for Angel had Alexander Ludwig. I know who this is.
I've heard
He's
the
in all
name.
those teen movies
Yes.
as a generic heartthrob with blonde hair.
Oh God, Brian, if you're listening, man, your list is it's throwing me off, my dude.
You're making me look good for having Randall Park.
You're making Brittany look a little good for Randall Park, and I know you're going to tell me later why I'm so wrong, and I guess we'll talk about it. But
I
here-
think he went age appropriate.
he did something. I don't know. He was in the newest Bad Boys. He plays like one of the cops in that, and he was a funny character. But I don't know if he's an Angel. He's got the look, maybe. I don't know if he's got the. I don't know. Matt, to you.
So this one I had to do a lot of research on, because I've never watched.
Matt, you
Angel,
had to
I
do
never watched
research on
Buffy.
all of them.
I know, right? But like,
I should have done more research, I guess.
but my pick is probably out of left field, but I picked Callum Turner. He's a British actor. He was in the second Fantastic Beasts movie. He plays Newt Scamander's brother Theseus. If you look him up, he's a decent looking dude, and I think he could pull the role of Angel off very well.
I'm looking him up right now.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Julian, clicking away.
Yeah.
I think I needed more time for this.
I gave you guys like 2
I shouldn't
weeks.
have done it last night after Inception when I was already tired.
Oh, you both waited till the last minute?
Well, I've seen Buffy, so I wasn't worried.
Oh, yeah, Matt, I see it.
Apparently should have been.
I see it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 30, but I guess he could pull off younger than 30. Yeah, especially a few years ago. I think it would work for sure.
You see, all my characters are in their 20s and 30s, aside from Randall Park. So I was going for like college-age Buffy range. Let's go.
I'm just not going to give you guys 2 weeks to do these anymore. I'll just say, hey, we're doing classic casting call 24 hours before the episode.
Next time, just
Do
tell
it.
us if you want to stick to ages or not.
Oh, no, I don't care about...
You pick whatever. It was
you pick
fun
whatever.
to
I'm just still going to give you shit for
fun.
Randall Park.
Yeah, it was fun to bust your proverbial balls about Randall Park, though.
Yep, I'm not going to stop.
He's funny.
yeah,
He's Xander like
he-
in
I'm
Yeah.
saying
real
he's
life.
not.
It just... Yeah.
Him in real life is Xander.
All right, guys, Geneva's first pick is really good. I dig it. Taylor Lautner as Angel. Jacob from Twilight.
I know who he is. Come on now.
I think it's perfect. I think that he's cute. He's
'Cause he's
a heartthrob. He's pretty, and he's not a horrible actor. I mean, that might not be true, but I see it.
I mean, I could see the look. I don't know about his acting ability though, because I mean, like Taylor Lautner has not been in anything at all.
Yeah,
Since Twilight.
since Twilight, that
like
kind of
2
ruined his
action
career.
films he did.
And they were not good, apparently.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good choice. I went out of complete left field here, and I was strictly going for a lookalike and someone cute who kind of started his career from the beginning, like David Boreanaz. You're going to have to look him up because he hasn't been in anything, and his name is Braden Lemasters. But he looks a lot like a young David Boreanaz.
Yeah, I could see the appearance thing there with David Boreanaz. For a sec, like the first picture of him was
Is
like
really
a
young,
a
right?
child.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. But he definitely, I think, can do it, especially coming just, kind of maybe revitalizing his career if they did it.
I
Let's,
don't know anything about his acting, so I wouldn't cast him.
well,
It's the point of casting. You pick good actors that you could have a makeup crew make into the characters and make believable.
that's absolutely not true. You have to take a leap of faith on new actors sometimes. Look at Star
I know
Wars.
that.
So that's what I did. Miss
Brittany-
Randall
But
Park.
you said he hasn't been in anything.
Brittany is never going to want to do a classic casting call after this.
No, it's fine. I'll do better next time. It's hard because like this is a TV show, and
Yeah.
it's like it's one of those staple ones that you're like, people are gonna hate no matter who. I
Well,
pick.
well, that's the thing, though. Like, that's the hard thing with doing any of these. We're going to do things with classic casting call that are always going to be controversial. Like, we did Indiana Jones for the first time, and that's the reason we haven't done one since. These have to be taken in stride and give people a lot of time to steep with our choices and decide whether they ever want to listen to the show again afterwards.
Well, I'll plead to our audience and I'll let them know I only picked actors that I trust to do these characters justice,
And that is where you fail.
and that's where I failed, apparently.
Let's move on to everybody's favorite watcher, Giles.
I better win this, or I'm gonna be mad.
Who did we start with last time? You? I think Matt's up. No,
No, I think I went first because I
Okay,
I
Brittany.
said
Yeah, I
Helen
think-
Turner.
Brittany.
I think Brittany's up.
Giles.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Yeah.
He's like James Bond with the sweater vest already. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, I like it. I don't think you really need to say much more than Idris Elba. He's a
That's why I
Yeah.
said what I said.
yep. Let's look at Brian's list. He put Domhnall Gleeson.
Oh, I
He was
love
he was
Domhnall Gleeson.
he was one of my finalists. I was considering him.
Yeah, he's a bit on the younger side though.
Yeah, that was.
yeah,
but
but
he
I
is-
see it.
Yeah. If they could age him up a bit in looks until he gets that old.
Brian, you
We can
have
do it.
redemption for some of your picks with this pick, though. It works.
I forgive you for everything, Brian.
Yep. Matt, to you.
So this one, I can't tell you how long I had to like agonize over this one because this was probably the hardest goddamn. This was actually, I think, the first one I did, and it was the hardest for me to do. So I picked, and you guys are both going to know him, Jamie Bamber.
Yeah,
Oh
Battlestar
shit!
Galactica.
Yeah, dude. Oh,
So
What does he look like now? I need to look him up.
he's got the smooth, because I looked up the guy, like he can be a little rugged, he can be smooth faced, he's in his later mid to late 40s, he's 47.
Mhm.
So I mean, like, he age wise he fits, like, you know, because I looked up the actor, he was in his 40s, I think it was, when they first started doing Buffy. He might have been a little bit younger, but I was
Dang.
like, I need a guy who can kind of look younger but is actually older and stuff like that. So
I forget that actors like age.
yeah.
Because like when you said Jamie Bamber, I was like, no, he's Apollo. He's like 25, and I'm like, no,
Nope.
he's not.
Nope, he is
No.
he is closing in on 50. So
Matt, that's
Dang, Apollo.
that's a good pick, dude.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Geneva went the gender swapping route, which I really dig, and
Yes.
I like her choice a lot. She picked Ming-Na Wen, and yeah, she's a badass. Like, I think that should be a great watcher.
Yeah, they'd
Yeah.
come up to her and be like, Ming Na, when are we gonna kick some vampire ass? She'd be like, here's the book of vampires.
Shut up, Wesley.
I love her, so
She's fantastic. All right, guys. So this is the only one that so for Buffy and Giles, I both had runner ups. This was two of my hardest choices. I'm going to tell you my runner up first, and that was John Oliver.
I can't see him doing any kind of actiony parts though.
like serious.
But
Giles.
but Giles didn't do a lot of action in the show. He was always like, shut up, Brittany.
like, you know what I mean by action.
Oh my god.
But he, even though he's funny, I think that John Oliver can definitely bring it to a serious tone and be funny when he needs to, because Giles did bring some comedic relief to Buffy from time to time. Having said that, I had to go with, and I'm going to butcher his name, and I apologize. You all know who this is too. Shewetel Al-Jafar.
Oh yeah, because he would be like a heartfelt father figure.
Yes, exactly.
That's why I picked Idris Elba.
And like you said that your Angel goes well with your Buffy, my Giles I think would go very well with my Buffy. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think mine would too.
Shewetel Al-Jafar. So, yep. All right, guys. Wait, Brittany, did you go for Giles?
Yeah, I went for Giles. I said Idris Elba.
My bad. I'm sorry. That's right.
Yeah,
we didn't
she
talk
went
about
first.
it a lot, so because it was such a good pick. All right, it is time for Slayer, Buffy. Who's gonna go first? I'm gonna just do it random. Matt, hit it.
so the random picked me, even though
Even though it was your turn, I decided to pick you. Yes.
Yep.
So Buffy was the other pick of mine that I actually had two choices that I was kind of torn between either, because they both kind of bring something to the role. So my two picks for, you could either pick Chloe Grace Moretz or Emma Roberts.
Ooh, Emma Roberts.
Probably.
So yeah, Chloe Grace Moretz, who she's been in quite a few movies. She basically was like started acting when she was a young girl. She was in Kick-Ass 1 and 2 and all that.
Yeah.
So she can do the action parts.
I'd pick her.
Yeah, and then Emma Roberts has kind of been around in TV. She's been in American Horror Story, so you know she's obviously can show that she can run with like the kind of the horror element. So as I said, I was kind of torn between both of them, but I figured either one of them could do the role very well.
Yeah, I think those are both really good picks. Brian also had a really good pick, and she didn't make my short list, but she was definitely in my thoughts. Brian picked Haley Steinfeld, and
I considered putting her on
Yeah.
this list
yeah,
because I was trying to decide: do I want to pick all youngins? or
yeah,
not?
yeah. I like that pick. So yeah, Brittany, go ahead.
I picked Summer Bishel as my Buffy. Not only because can play a badass, but I didn't want to typecast her as Cordelia, which would have been an interesting choice. My only thing is I might have switched. I might have had Jodie Comer as Buffy and her as Willow, but I really think that Summer Bishel would do a really good job as the lead role in a show. Like she could carry this show, and I think it would be interesting to see a Buffy that looks like Summer. So that's what I did.
There you go.
She can pull it off. She already knows how to use axes, so like, let's go. Summer Bishel can kick ass.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know if I agree necessarily, but I see your point of view for sure.
If I wanted to
Yeah.
stick with generic blonde woman, then I would have picked Jodie Comer, who's equally badass and plays an assassin.
Geneva went with Sky Jackson, who is a young actress. She's in a bunch of kids, so she's like one of the voices in Bubble Guppies. She was in the Smurfs.
Bubble Guppies.
So she's young. She was born in 2002. She's 8. Well, I guess she's not that young. No, she's 18. I could see it for sure. I'm going to go down my list because it is long, but I need to talk about all of it.
Oh boy.
And you guys are going to love my first pick, but I think she's a little bit too young, which is why she wasn't my ultimate choice. I picked Kylie Curran initially as one of my runner-ups from Dr. Sleep. I think when she gets a little older, she could have done the role really well. She's just got such a commanding presence. But ultimately, I think she's not quite old enough for the role yet. My other runner-up, going with that stereotypical generic blonde, even though she's very good in her own series, and it would be a typecast, is Kiernan Shipka, who plays Sabrina on the new series. I know that's not.
No, but the thing is, her character already is basically a Buffy.
That's why I picked her because I think it would be very easy to choose. But that's not my main pick. My main pick is and it's gonna sound like I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm not. Is Amanda Stenberg, who played
Amanda Steinberg.
Yeah,
she was in
Hunger Games. She played Rue. Yep. She played Rue in the Hunger Games, and she's had a bit of a career since. And I think that she would be awesome. I think obviously she'd be just fantastic with Chiwetel Ejiofor. I think she would even be good with John Oliver as that Watcher Slayer relationship. But I saw her, and this is another one that I talked about with Karen a lot, and it fit. So
I think it's a good choice.
Yeah,
especially if we're going like age appropriate younger.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that is it for the second edition of Classic Casting Call. If there's anyone that you think that we missed, if there's anyone that you would like to see on some of these lists, if you want to tell us we're wrong, you can email us at permittedpod@gmail.com. You could tweet us. You can Facebook message us. It's not hard to get a hold of us, but we want to know what you think about our list, what you thought about our guest Brian and Geneva's list, who sent their stuff in. I just will say that quickly, Brian had a couple of characters that we didn't talk about. He cast Faith, Anya, Dawn, Riley Finn, Drusilla. So just quick for and Oz too, who is
oh my God!
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've all been members of the Scooby Gang.
They have. Yep. And Dawn was
her sister.
Yep, that's right.
If you guys had done all those characters, I might have cried trying to do
this. That's why we stuck to the Scooby Gang and Spike and
I would have even given up. I would have been like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah. I think you can't go too far. Yeah, Riley sucked.
Damn, all right.
Dude, get season 3 of Buffy is it 3 or 4?
I think that's 4.
4, yeah, because she goes to college, right?
Yeah, I think that's 4. Yeah.
It's rough because of him.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Really rough.
All right then.
That does it for our episode of Everything is Permitted. We will be back next week with our big animation episode. We can't wait to share that with all of you and have our listeners and our fans involved. So look forward to that. And also, if you are a Patreon member, look for your bonus Lock and Key episode tomorrow. For Brittany, for Matt, I'm Julian. Have a good night.
You can find Everything is Permitted on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Everything is Permitted is produced by Rob Bigliaccio, Nikki Veazey, and Geneva Stein-Shivers. Our executive producers are Michael Cox, Brittany Tomes and the Tomes family, and Julian Brown.